Hey guys, it's Rodimus Primal. I'm back with another video, and today we are going to give you guys our review for Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Now, as we always do, we are going to do a non-spoiler review first, and then at the last part of this video will be the spoiler section where we start getting into some of the nitty-gritty of the movie. Now, first of all, I could say that I really enjoyed this movie. I think it was a lot of fun. Obviously, we are a family of Star Wars fans. I am wearing my Star Wars, the first movie, the original films, and she is wearing her Empire Strikes Back t-shirt. And our daughter actually came with us. And the best way that we could probably gauge this movie is that she sat, in between us, because like the way that those seats are, some of the time. And then she took her nap like right in the middle of the movie. And then she woke up as the explosions started happening towards the third act of the film. And she was wide awake and she was excited and she was happy, and like to the music she started dancing, like, because when they actually started playing the Star Wars themes, she starts to dance. So she was having a good old time. And so it was a lot of fun. Yes. And she likes to count. So, but I think this movie was a lot of fun. I think it does a lot of things different that other Star Wars movies doesn't do. Like, I know we said this about Rogue One, like how Rogue One was like a different film. This felt more like this is a sequel willing to take risks. I liked. So, like we said, like this movie liked to take risks. It was actually like, that first portion of the movie where like everything starts to feel like, it's diving.
It's like definitely a continuation from
The Force
Awakens, and it just kind of smoothly goes right into this movie. It wasn't like a lot of time passed. Really, it seemed like it just kind of moved right over. No time passed. It was literally
like right afterward. Like it wasn't like there was like no time after the afterwards. So it was almost it almost felt like it was like one movie. So because the one thing about like the original Star Wars movie and then Empire Strikes Back, it's actually like 3 years. I think it's a year. No, it's 3 years.
It's some years.
It was like some years, like in between, the first Star Wars movie and Empire Strikes Back. So, whereas like I think it was a year in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, because they had to take all that time to like save Han Solo from Jabba the Hutt. Whereas this, like, there is no time. Like, right where Force Awakens leaves off, this movie picks right up. And we decided to actually watch The Force Awakens again, and I almost felt like it was like a retelling of A New Hope, the first Star Wars movie. So like, it was like it only took one major risk, and that of course is that Han Solo dies. And to me, I think that was your reaction. That was my mother's reaction.
Even watching it again, it was like not as sad because you knew it was going to happen, but it was still sad.
Yeah, I know he wanted to die though. Like apparently Harrison Ford wanted the character to die. But this movie takes like it's like ramps everything up. In so many ways.
Third movie. I want to know how it ends. Nine movies in the making. How does it end?
I know a lot of people like some of the newer characters that they introduced in this movie. I actually like the way they introduced like some of the things in the worlds and the different places.
Hate Hux.
Yeah.
And still dislike Kylo Ren. Although they made him a bit more likable.
At first, without actually spoiling anything. But like they did kind of make him a little bit more likable, and then obviously Mark Hamill, playing Luke, and he is fantastic. He is.
I kept hearing Joker in bits and pieces of his voice because how his voice like deepened and got changed over the years. I don't know if he's a smoker or what that changed, but I just hear Joker and I'm just like, and his but he was really good. Yeah,
yeah, he was really awesome.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
I also liked I think it's Andy Serkis, I think plays Snoke, and you know, he's like just, I almost feel like he was like a one-dimensional bad guy, like just kind of like he's just so evil. So Supreme Leader Snoke, he was just a great, I felt like he was a great bad guy.
Yeah,
you know,
very evil.
It's one of the things I like bad guys being evil. Like I want bad guys to be. Yeah, like bad guys should just be bad guys. You know, they don't need to have this like elaborate backstory, and you know, they just like, I want to rule.
I kind of feel like they developed some of the other bad guys in previous trilogies more than they.
They didn't really introduce. I mean, how much more did, like, if you watch the original movie, like the Emperor, you didn't need to know he was evil. You just needed to know he was evil.
I guess because he was there for a while.
Yeah, he was already the Emperor. He was already the evil Emperor. That's all you need to know. Like, Snoke is the Supreme Leader. That's all you need to know.
But they did show him in other facets of, like, where you saw him with the Senate, or you saw him more. I don't know.
That was in the prequels, though. So the prequels kind of, like, lead into it. You know where it's going because it has to lead right. Yeah.
The first, the middle three.
So, you know, I mean, unless you watch it in chronological order, which after rewatching Phantom Menace, that's one of the things, I can't really watch the prequel trilogy and take it like.
I like the third one though.
Everyone likes Revenge of the Sith
because it shows you where Darth Vader becomes Darth Vader, and it's like it's so epic to me. Like at the very end.
I mean, that's probably the one of the three that like
parts of it are sad, but yeah,
that are actually like good. But like Empire Strikes Back, I think I think there is no way that you can beat Empire Strikes Back as a movie. Like Empire Strikes Back is, like even this movie can't top Empire Strikes Back. Like Empire Strikes Back just is like the best Star Wars movie. So this movie, I think, what's that?
I said I'm not going to speak on that.
Well, I
don't know if I have a favorite. I haven't figured that out yet. I'll wait for the next one to come out, and then I'll reserve all judgment.
Well, they're coming out with 2 more, so like, they're going to do a Han Solo prequel.
But I mean, like the last of the 9.
Right. So I mean, the actual saga. So it's, you know, I mean, Star Wars. It's a family affair. It's the Skywalker family affair.
Yeah. God help the Skywalker family destroying the universe.
One movie at a time. So at this point, I think we're gonna start going into spoilers because it's like you can tell like we are like holding back, and it's so hard to not talk spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, go see the movie and then watch the rest of our review because there's just so much to talk about in this movie, and like there's
a lot going on.
It's a lot going on. So again, spoilers. So
anything specific will spoil something. So.
I know. So the first thing I want to say, like, you know how I was talking about how like the middle of the movie, like it starts to drag on.
Yeah.
The casino, like it felt like it was a side story. You know, it was like interesting.
They had to save the. They didn't get the actual code breaker.
Right.
And they had to save those creatures. They were cute. They reminded me of chocobos, kind of.
Yeah, they were kind of like weird.
Chocobo-ish, but they were cute.
Chocobos, yeah, they were chocobos.
But there was like no reason for them to be there other than they just helped at the very
I think it was just
the end to get them to escape.
I think it was just meant so that Rose and Finn had a story, so they had purpose to be in the movie. Because
they were there to get somebody to...
Right. They had a reason to
get
go.
to Snoke and so on and so forth, but...
What got
some
me
of it was
like,
just too long for... It wasn't necessary.
Here's the thing that was like almost like a plot hole to me. It felt like the movie, like, okay, we have this plan that we're going to, like, just break in and do this. Oh, well, we can't. Well, you don't have the fuel reserves to get away from the First Order, but you can send a ship because you have enough fuel for that. Like, it made no sense. Like, how can one ship that could be, like, if they could track them with light speed, how in the world can a small ship get away with light speed and then come back? Like, it was kind of like...
they got out... Well, they were supposed to be able to get out with the transporters because they weren't going to track the transporters because they were small little ships that weren't supposed to be on the radar of the First Order. They were only tracking certain ships. They kind of explained it, and I kind of understood it, but I see what you're saying too. I mean, some of it just didn't make sense. Like, they never said, like, all of a sudden now they can track through light speed. I mean, they said it's impossible. Oh wait, now they can do it. It's new technology, and it was just there.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it didn't warrant a full explanation. I mean, you wouldn't ever.
Yeah,
you make a big deal anyway, so you're not going to be able to understand.
But they make a big deal about it, and so, but then they can still get away with it. That's what got me. Like, if you make a big deal about something and then you can still get away with it, it kind of takes you out of it in a way. And the other thing that was interesting was, I want to say interesting, was kind of weird because, you know, I know a lot of people probably wanted to see Leia use the Force, and she used the Force very strange way. Like, she actually
willed herself not to die.
Right, but
like she was dead. She was freezing. Like, literally ice crystals growing on her body because the entire ship. And why would she be the only one strong enough to use the... I mean, shouldn't other people... I guess she's the general.
And she just kind of, like, flies through space.
And she looks like this weird ghost.
I know.
It's just a very strange moment.
So, General Akbar got killed.
But yeah, I was sad about that. I wanted him to say, it's a trap.
I think did he say it was a trap in The Force Awakens? No, he didn't.
No, I don't think...
You said, it's a trap.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't remember the Force... No, he didn't. I don't think he did.
No.
Anyway.
Yeah. But he ends up... He was on the bridge with a bunch of other people, and, you know, and Princess Leia, and she actually uses the Force to not have Ben kill her.
Was that?
That's what it was. So, like, she uses the Force just to, like, will herself back in, and I'm just kind of like... It kind of felt weird. Like, I almost, like... It pulled a lot of people... I know a lot of people kind of pulled them out of the movie, you know, in a way. Like, it was like a suspension of disbelief. But I guess you almost wonder if they did that for the reason of... that she died, but that was already, like, there, because apparently they already filmed it
before she died.
So maybe she was going to be able to be a more strong Force user in episode 9, like maybe be a teacher to Rey, you know.
I don't know, because it seems like the Force can do random things all of a sudden in the last two movies.
In this movie, though, Snoke actually uses the Force to manipulate Kylo Ren. Tries to manipulate Rey.
Yeah.
So, like, connects them together, makes them see each other.
That was cool, though. I liked that.
Yeah.
I liked how that they were having conversations in random places when they're not in the same room, but they can feel and see some of what the other person is with, like, where they're at, and, like, they were able to touch hands, and I thought that was pretty cool. I liked that.
Like, they were trying to make them connect because Snoke was trying to get Rey to turn.
Yeah.
And
finally, she was just as powerful. He saw her, and they finally explained, like, why they're so connected, which that explained it, but it's also because Kylo was the dark version of her being the light version.
Right.
Like, they were like the yin to the yin to the yang.
She was other's yang. It was pretty much kind of like how Luke and Vader were, like, kind of like that way in Empire Strikes Back. But I liked their battle with each other, and then I liked their battle with, you know, because, like, and the big spoiler obviously is Ben or Kylo Ren kills Snoke
in such a cool
way. Such an awesome way. He just kind of, like, just takes the lightsaber and just...
He looks like he's gonna kill Rey and end everything, and that would have probably ended everything.
Yeah.
But then he uses it, realizing that, like, Snoke has been manipulating them this whole time. Out of anger, kills Snoke, and then, like, you see it, the lightsaber moving. The other cool part was when they did battle, their strength was so equal that they pretty much exploded. What was it, Luke's?
They actually blew up the original lightsaber. Yeah, Luke's or Anakin's original lightsaber, like, gets split in half.
Yeah.
And
that cool.
And I also liked the battle that they were fighting those guards.
Yes,
that was so cool.
Good.
Like, they're actually fought together for a second there, and you actually think that they're going to team up.
I know, I was like, oh, that would be so awesome, but then it would have, like, also ended the movie.
But he like completely resolved and stayed evil. You know? And after he killed Snoke,
he wanted to go off
and be evil.
Well, do his own thing. He didn't want to, like, be a part of what Snoke was doing. He didn't want to be in anything, he wanted his own, which, I mean, he ended up just taking over as Supreme Leader.
Now he is
Supreme Leader Kylo Ren.
Right. And then Rey is now the Last Jedi, which, again, that's the major spoiler, because Mark Hamill plays this, like, as a Luke Skywalker who's like this hermit, even more so than Ben Kenobi was.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just kind of like, he's, staying secluded. He doesn't want anybody to know that he's there, and just kind of like,
he doesn't want
keeps everything,
he doesn't want to go with her.
Right, and he even wants to destroy the original Jedi text so that
I liked his whole reasoning behind everything, that if the Jedi were to die out, to believe that would end all good, that's very haughty, and he just thought the Jedi were hypocritical, and he felt like good could still go on without the whole Force religion and the Jedi being there.
Yeah, so
the religion itself was fine, but he said the Jedi were unnecessary, which I liked. I don't know, it was that gray, what is that?
It was kind of a gray area for that, kind of like eliminating the reason for the Jedi to exist, but yet they still need to exist. So everything that you need to know is everything that Rey needs to know as a Jedi is known without the actual texts.
Right, but and the other spoil, which I thought was awesome, was Yoda showing up, which I thought that was great.
That was cool. That was so cool, and it was the original. I think it was the original puppet, or maybe it looked like the original puppet, because it didn't look like the puppet from, it didn't look like the puppets or the CG used in the prequel trilogy. It was actually
I think they did that to make him look younger, though. I think they were trying to make him look younger.
Probably, but he actually looked like
old.
Yeah, like the older version of Yoda, and they actually got Frank Oz's voice to do.
Yeah, that was I liked when you thought he was going to disagree with Luke, so Luke was going to destroy the tree, which I guess was important for some reason.
Because they had the books inside of it.
Right, but the tree itself seemed to be important for some reason, too.
Right.
And he was telling Yoda that he was going to do it, but then he stopped himself, and then Yoda, being dead for all this time, somehow wills lightning out of the sky and destroys the tree with all the texts, and then explains that all the texts are inside them anyway, and they know everything they need to know without the books. Which was cool, but again, the Force seems to be able to do random things at random times when they want it to do certain things.
Yeah, speaking of which, Luke finally decides to, will himself, to project his essence, so to speak, across the galaxy onto the salt planet, which the salt planet was cool because of all that red dust that was kicking up, and that whole sequence was awesome, but then he comes up, and it's a younger-looking Luke.
Yeah,
and he is just awesome. First of all, they're blasting the projection, and obviously it's not getting destroyed, and you're like, Luke's going to make it out. But then, Luke was just this was the Luke that you wanted to see in the original trilogy. As far as the action sequence, the way he was able to wield his lightsaber, the way he was able to hold his own, and, kind of flip around, even, dodge Kylo Ren's lightsaber almost in a Matrix-like way.
Yeah, that reminded me a lot of the Matrix, those scenes. But, I mean, I thought it was cool, and I liked the red. The red didn't... The way I don't know, that didn't make total sense to me, why they needed to kick up that red. I mean, it wasn't blinding anybody. There's all these, chicken walkers and some other ships just there, clearly outnumbering the very few of the people that were left of the Resistance, and they... I don't know, the whole red thing didn't make much sense to me, but it was very cool to see. I had already figured out when Luke touched Leia, I knew when you saw him that it was not really him, and I didn't know if it was a hologram.
I didn't pick up on that.
How it happened, because obviously, I mean, you didn't know that you could project yourself however far away or whatever, but I knew it wasn't him because of his beard and his haircut. It was totally different. It looked like the version of him when he was when the whole thing went down, when they showed what happened between Ben and Luke to cause the whole rift and everything that happened and caused him to turn completely. It was the younger version, not the older version, so I knew it wasn't him being there. And then when Kylo Ren showed how angry he was at Luke by taking every single one of the machines and having them shoot him just nonstop. And Hux is like, "Are you done yet?" And the whole time I'm like, "Why can't this guy die? Like, there's no need for him." I mean, I guess there is.
You don't like Hux at all.
He's so clearly like a Nazi. Like, they show him, he looks like the whole like the whole, and the bad guys making them look like Nazis and stuff.
Yeah.
And then just everything about him is, he's like whiny, and I mean, so is Kylo, but I don't know, there's just differences there. Just something about him annoys me a lot. But anyway, continuing on that, just I lost my train of thought.
So you're talking about how Luke projecting himself.
Oh yeah, and then the scene of them fighting was so cool to see.
That battle was awesome.
And then when he finally realized he's not there, that was great.
Yeah, and then he also did like a thing like, if you strike me down, I'll become a force more powerful than you can possibly imagine. Which
I will always be with you.
Well, it was a variation.
No, but he said something like, if you strike me down, I will always be with you, just like your father. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, and just like your grandfather too. But
yeah.
Like, you know, and so like Luke obviously says basically he's going to become like a force ghost. So, so then obviously his body is still on that island planet or whatever, and they show him like disappear. So we know that he's probably going to come back maybe as in episode 9 as a force ghost. I think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And then maybe he can just follow Rey around. But she doesn't have a lightsaber now, so she needs a new lightsaber. So I'm curious if they're going to do something crazy and do something more than just blue, red, green, and obviously Mace Windu the one purple lightsaber, and maybe do a different color. Maybe they'll do a purple or
orange seems to be the color of like everybody in the Resistance.
Well, I mean, you think about it, because
but red was like the color of the Resistance, so I think they would stick with red.
Red is evil. Red are always the bad guys. So like obviously like Kylo Ren's lightsaber is a red lightsaber. Darth Vader's is a red lightsaber. Any Sith uses a red lightsaber.
That's true.
So the good ones use a blue or green, except for Mace Windu, who has to use a purple one because Samuel Jackson said, "I want a purple lightsaber."
It's his favorite color.
It's your favorite color too.
Yeah.
So
me and Sam have something in common.
So
I don't like snakes on planes.
Yeah. So, and now when this movie ends, I feel like it left us on a cliffhanger again. Yeah. It left us wanting the next movie.
Definitely.
And almost kind of like, wait, we're ending here?
But it was very emotional.
Yeah. And this movie took the risks that Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi did. It almost felt like they took Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi and kind of mushed them into one movie.
I don't know.
Like
you keep thinking that every movie is like another movie, but I don't see it completely. But I haven't watched them as many times as you have. I've watched them a lot, long time ago, but not like I haven't watched them a lot recently. So
yeah,
I don't remember them like you do, and I don't have the memory you do. So, but the one thing we didn't mention, which I wanted to mention, was Laura Dern's character. I cannot remember her name for the life of me in the show.
But she was in Jurassic Park.
Yeah. But no, her real name is Laura Dern. I know who she is. I just can't think of her name on the show or in the movie. But I didn't like her character at first, and then I loved her character and thought she was awesome.
And she did something amazing. Something that
what happens is she's very much like a jerk to Poe Dameron, and everybody loves Poe Dameron. I mean, Oscar Isaac. Mm-hmm. He's two first names. Whatever his name is in real life. He's in everything right now. He's very popular and everybody loves him. And that's probably why they stuck him in this movie, because he's very likable. And you love his character. And she was kind of a jerk to him. Like, you got demoted because it seemed like Leia was kind of joking about the demotion, but she took it seriously because she was, at this point, Leia was still on life support because she died but didn't really die and whatever. So she comes off as a really major jerk, and then it seems like she's going to have them all retreat. And you're like, what the heck? Like, I know we get you can't fight. There's like nothing left. You have nothing. Your ship is destroyed. The major ship. Now you have
she was a traitor.
Yeah, they make it seem like she's a jerk and a traitor. She points a gun on Poe and all these other people, and then Poe turns around and throws them all, like all the leadership, and kind of takes over the ship himself so that they can run this whole Rose and Finn side quest to get this code breaker that could get into Snoke. And
who was the collector?
Yeah. And he's a good actor too.
Yeah.
Benicio del Toro.
Yeah. And he came in as a. So anyway, you want to continue talking about?
So Laura Dern comes off. Her character comes off just. We don't like her at all. But then she realizes that if she doesn't do something, because she decided to stay behind on the ship because they were going to take all the transporters. Because Leia finally wakes up and tells Poe, like, look, you need to stop this. This is, and she explains that, like, this... Well,
she doesn't just explain, she shoots him with a stun gun.
Yeah. Well, but she does finally explain to him that the reason why she did what she did was not to... She didn't need to look like a hero. She wanted to make sure they all got onto this planet that they were going to get onto, which was supposed to be safely, but that didn't happen. So many of them got shot down, and more got killed after, like, already so many were killed. And she, I just liked that she was putting everybody first, and then she even stayed behind, and then realizes that if she doesn't do something, even though she's by herself on this pretty much destroyed ship, that they're all going to die. So she takes that little ship and just flies it through light speed into that giant ship.
And that causes so much damage. It was like so awesome to see. It was like literally a spectacle. It was just like it was like everything shatters. Like
everything the whole shatters, and everything gets quiet.
Everything shatters.
And it was just such an epic moment to see, like, her do that. Like, you feel bad at that point because now she's dead.
Yeah.
And then, well, we also know that Phasma.
Well, that battle was cool too because it was kind of like Finn's battle with her was kind of like this. She
has this thing against him because he betrayed them all, and she was in his. He was in her.
She was just cool as an enigmatic bad guy. Like, she was the commander of all the stormtroopers.
Shiny.
She was wearing the shiny armor, and like, it was just cool to see the two of them fight each other, like in their last stand against each other. And I thought that was cool. I didn't like the fact that she died, but then again, she's kind of like the modern day Boba Fett. Boba Fett really isn't that much. I don't know why Boba Fett is such a big deal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
To the point where I think they're actually going to make a movie about him.
Oh boy, like, and I get it. I get it. He's cool because he's kind of he's a bad guy in a mask. So, and it's just kind of is what it is.
That's why I don't know. There's just so much to talk about in this movie. I feel like we could go from start to finish and just talk through the whole thing.
Poor Chewie barely had much of a role in this movie. We didn't get to, I mean, probably you were welcoming that because he had that cute little thing.
Annoying. That thing was so cute though.
Those
little bird,
I know.
Whatever, and they're so popular. Like nobody's seen them in the movie, but they're everywhere.
And they guilted him into not eating one. That was so funny.
All right.
So, like, again, we really enjoyed this movie. I hope you guys have enjoyed our little review, or longer review. I have another Transformers discussion video coming soon, and it's literally like almost done. And obviously I do my live streams. I have more stuff coming along the way. If you like this video, be sure to thumbs up and subscribe. And if you don't see any other one of our videos after this point, have a Merry Christmas and whatever holidays that you celebrate with your family. Enjoy. Until next time, guys.